Alright, Barakah Yahweh, Barakah Shai, Kala Yahweh, Barakah Shai, Barakah Kakadash, Jabana to the older apostle, great mills from Ruwell, salutation and oxen, I put in the truth to call the forefront of the earth, to the spirit and power of Yahweh, Barakah Shai, that the hope will let, and the world inwardly called God and Yahweh, the world inwardly called Jesus Christ, and Yahweh Shai, with the Hebrew Israelite that consists of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, and those in line descendants, go back to one of the 12 tribes of Israel, due to the scattering amongst the nation, amongst the four corners of the earth, which is Mohari call from the Great Military Los Angeles camp, back in the lessons, and Abinah Rasadal will only be edifying to the fear and power of Yahweh Shai, Shai, Shai Kakadash, which is the Holy Spirit. Alright, it's June. Alright, as in the great Nate Dawn himself, alright, Bishop Nate Nathaniel, IOIT was saying, it's June, ain't no microchip, but here it is, we in June, alright, the first day of June of 2025, and the microchip is here, alright, it been here, alright, we'll make it more relevant for today and this month of June, is because June is the National Microchip Month, alright, and the microchip referring to the MOTB, alright, prophecy in Revelation 13, which is identified as the RFID chip, which is that microchip, alright, that can be inserted into a physical implantable device that can be inserted inside of you, alright, pursuant to the prophecy of Revelation chapter 13. Okay. Yes, June is National Microchip Month. It is an annual observance dedicated to promoting the benefit of microchipping pet for their safety and security. Microchipping helps reunite a lost pet with their family and provide a permanent form of identification. Yeah, and we know it started with that. Alright, but they gradually moved the people. Okay? They gradually moved the people. Alright? Let's prove that is, not that. It was, oh yeah, it was a video I just shared with the bro in the chat. Or I meant to, like.
Is it finally happening or
It's the title of the video is that you'll be stitched by grace for purpose. You'll be shocked. Over 50,000 people have received microchip implants. Pay attention. Alright. Check the video out. I haven't watched it yet, but just the title alone, it's worth it. Alright, so it was uploaded 3 days ago. Alright, but it's very, very, very relevant to today's time. Alright, and to the prophecy that's unfolding right before us. Alright, so that's why I said it started with Dawn, but it moved to people. Good, look at that. Alright, what's the prophecy? Alright, let's get this. Second chapter 9, verse 1, the answer be then, instead measured out the time diligently in itself. Alright, how is measured the time? The scripture, the prophecy. Alright. Everything what's going on in the world, everything that the MOTB, alright, the microchip, is being talked about. Alright? And that's how it filtered into the scripture. Alright, prophecy wise. And without the part of the time pass, they haven't been made mandatory yet. But part of the signs is what? That the RFID chip is here. The microchip is here. Alright? all it needs for now to happen is for what? It's for it to be made mandatory. All right, that great testing that's talking about in Revelation chapter 3, verse 10, and reading the NLT. All right, try them on the earth. All right, that's all we're waiting for. The system, all right, the implication, all right, all that is already here. Already waiting for the MOTB to be made mandatory. All right, it could be very, very well be Donald T. All right, Donald Trump, the president, to make that happen. All right, we talk T. Okay, so part of the time will be coming to pass. Then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Then now you're trying to understand that the Lord is near. All right, according to the prophecy that's unfolding right now. All right, in the month of June, we're here. We're here in the month of June. All right. But also, I typed in a microchip. And I filtered for today, by date, what was uploaded today. All right. The plan of a microchip is a mark of the beast for the elect of Israel. We got something in a different language. The Federal Reserve Museum, Atlanta, mentioned the MOTB microchip implant. All right, let's see what that looking like.
All right, Shalom. Let's go. Y'all of Great Millstone, Atlanta. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the Akim, pushing out this truth and sincerity. All right, this is a quick lesson, and this is going to be entitled The Federal Reserve Museum mentions the RFID microchip. And so I just did a recent visit to the Federal Reserve Museum, and we had also visited as a camp, but I just happened to go back recently, and I basically took my kids or whatever. Anyway, long story short, the museum has a lot of presentation videos. Like, they have screens all around, and you'll hit a button and it'll play a short video, going into different aspects of money, the history of the Federal Reserve, how inflation works, just different informational things. Now, in the corner, on one of the things, and also they don't let you record in there. So you just gotta, you gotta lock your phone away, because they don't let you record or whatnot. But basically, when you're in there, in the corner, they had one segment of the museum where it was like based in the future, and it was like, I think it said something about like the future of payments, year 2200, something like that. And so they had this little screen where the lady, I guess she's like a futurist, a teller. She's a bank teller in the future, and she's like a bank teller in the future, and she basically kind of interacts with you. It's a scripted video, but it's not AI, but she interacts with you as if you're responding, as if she's talking to you directly. Anyway, the lady on the video, she was like, welcome, she had a little greeting introduction, and she was like, welcome, whatever. She was like, okay, she was like, a part of her script was that she was like, she was like, let me do an iris scan to see if you're in our database. And then like it did, error, like, oh, she's like, you didn't come up in a database. And then she was like, okay, well, let me try to see if your microchip implant reads. And then it was like, that didn't read either. Because like I said, this is supposed to be based in the future. So, basically she's like, okay, you're not in the system. And so she was like, oh, you must be from the past. And then so she was like, okay, well, you can try one of our antique forms of payment. And you would click on cash. It had like different buttons: cash, check, credit, debit, and ACH, which is bank transfer payment. Anyway, she was like, and then you click on one, and then it breaks down what cash is and the history of cash and whatnot, and then you click on the next. So it's more so informative, but obviously the point that I'm bringing out here is the fact that the lady on the screen, on the screen recording, she was like, she mentioned the RFID chip. That was the whole point. That's the whole point of what I'm bringing out, is that the lady, Slakia, close this out. The lady mentioned the RFID chip. All right, she said, do you have, and it's based in the future, so you can't make this up. You can't make this up at all. Like, basically, that's proving that the next form of payment, this is the Federal Reserve Museum. These are the people that handle transactions. They do a lot of work. I think the big Fed prints the money, but these are the ones that distribute the money.
Yeah, so that's very informative. But yeah, the Fed, that's what they're trying to move to. Everything being digitized. All right. Another video. The birth of microchip revolution. And it's June, ain't no microchip. Somebody did it 9 years ago. 9 hours ago. Yeah. It's a microchip, the mark of the beast. Somebody did 10 hours ago. Let's see what that's about.
So, are microchips the mark of the beast? The question is, yes, it could be. Answer 2 is I don't know, and answer 3 is not. I believe is I don't know, because I don't know for sure, but it could be. So be aware of.
It does not need to be on YouTube. Anyway, ChatGPT on the microchip MOTB by 144,000 phishing. Let's do that 14 hours ago.
First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and great glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Achab, Radash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and salutations to the elect pushing this truth to the four corners of the earth and truth and its sincerity. In this particular video, I want to touch on what ChatGPT said about the microchip and how they would implement it, because I asked it a question. If there is a mark of the beast being the microchip, how would it be implemented? And it's said some very interesting things. So I want to get into it. Alright, but before we get into it, I want to say Salakia for the background noise. I am on the plantation right now. They got the TV on blast. But the spirit hopped on me nevertheless. So I'm going to try to get this video off. But anyway, I asked ChatGPT, if there is the mark of the beast being the microchip, how would they implement it? And let's read what they say. They said the idea of the mark of the beast as a microchip is a popular interpretation among some Christian groups, especially within apocalyptic or prophecy-based teachings. Prophecy-based teachings. This belief is usually based on Revelations 13:16-17, which speaks of a mark on the right hand or forehead, which the apostles and elders on down been teaching for years and years. You know, you got other camps out there, they'll say it's sleeping with white women, it's Christianity, it's an embargo, it's something spiritual, so forth and so on. That's wrong. Alright, because when you go inside of that word mark, it's karagma. That's the Greek word for the word mark, which means a physical incision that they're going to make inside of you. Something physical is going to draw blood. Alright? The root word to karagma is korax. Korax is something that's sharpened to a point. And this is going to be the delivery system to give you the mark of the beast. Alright? If you ever see somebody get the microchip, it's that big hypodermic needle. Alright, with a large catheter. That's the delivery system. Alright? Then the root word to korax is grapho. And grapho means to write down. Now this chip is going to have all your information onto it. It's going to have your address, your vital signs, your blood sugar levels, your age, your social security, so forth and so on. Alright? So just by getting into the word, it tells you what the mark of the beast is, but that's if the spirit's dealing with you. Alright? And the spirit's not with a lot of these camps out here, man. Alright? So, continuing, which speaks of a mark on the right hand or forehead, and that one on the forehead, it can go by the name of the Neuralink, but it's the mark of the beast, which is the microchip nonetheless, that people must have to buy or sell. Right, they must have this mark in order to buy or sell. Now this right here automatically shuts down the argument that it's Christianity, embargo, sleeping with white women, all this other bullshit. Why? Because how does that translate, or how does that transaction go in a grocery store, man? Well, they're going to ask you to break down John 3:16 in a grocery store, and if you break it down wrong, they tell you can't shop.
Right now,
come on, man. That's foolish. Alright? The only thing that fits right here is the truth, and that is that you have to have the microchip in order to make transactions, man. Right? Continuing, if such an idea were implemented as a microchip in the real world, here is how it could be carried out hypothetically and technically. Not as a theological statement, but as a practical possibility. One, normalizing through convenience, which we see that happening right now. They could start by introducing the microchip as a convenience tool. Medical, store your medical history for emergencies. They already had commercials back then. They used to call it the VeriChip. Alright? And it has a lot of information on how the VeriChip can which that's what they used to call the mark of the beast. How it can read your vitals and how it can make emergencies, more smoother. Like if somebody got shot and he's by himself, they can just scan the microchip, get his age, his name, his blood type, so forth and so on. Alright? Financial. Pay with a wave of your hand. We see that happening right now. Like contactless cards. We see people in the grocery stores right now recording themselves pay with their hand. There's even a girl on the media called Chip Girl. She's doing it too. Alright? You can look her up. Identification. Replace IDs or passports. Security. Unlock homes, cars, or phones with it. Alright? They're doing that already in Sweden. Alright? They're showing you the conveniences of this microchip. Alright? Now look up Chip Girl. She does it too. Her whole house is chipped, so you can't even get access to her house if you do not have the microchip. Alright? You see people that have it get inside of their cars, so forth and so on. They're showing you the convenience and making it cool, right? This would likely appeal to people who want to simplify their lives and carry fewer physical items, which on the news they say that, hey, if you never want to lose your wallet, if you never want to lose your keys, hey, get this microchip. So they try to pass it off as a super convenient tool, right? Gradual and gradual integration into systems. To get widespread use, they might incentivize adoption, discounts, faster service, elite accesses. Right. Now, over there in Sweden, they give people that have the microchip certain access. All right. I think they get to skip the line on trains and other things. They have other benefits that come with it. All right. Replace older systems, slowly phasing out cards and cash. We see that happening right now. Things are switching to more digital. All right. Really, there's only one big thing that needs to happen to switch it over to straight digital. All right. Use crisis like pandemics or economic collapse. I just was talking about that. All right. If a pandemic happened or economic collapse happened and the money falls, this will justify them to use what? Digital. Right here, to justify digital solutions, right? Require for participation. Eventually, it could be mandated for certain activities, right? They'll start out with, you can't do this, you can't do that, and before you know it, those few things are turned into a lot more things. Now you realize that you can't do nothing without having this microchip, right? To receive government aid or medical.
Right, they ain't gonna be able to participate unless you have that MOTB. All right, the framework, everything will be digitized, digital system. All right, with the MOTB, the B system, the MOTB system. All right, all that gonna be controlled by the Internet of Things, the Internet of Bodies, AI system, to control all that.
To work or receive a salary, right? Because if you don't have the microchip, then how are you going to get paid and how are you going to make transactions, right? Hence, to buy and sell, to travel, vote, or pay taxes. This is where biblical concern comes in. No one can buy or sell without it, right? I was just saying that, man. All right. Now, mind you, this is Chat GPT. This is AI. All right, let's continue. Position as progress or safety. Governments or corporations might market it as a step toward global digital ID system, and we're seeing that happen right now. A lot of places are putting in place a digital ID system. All right, I think Greece just did that. All right. A defense against fraud, illegal immigration, or terrorism. Right. Now, Trump already wanted to microchip the so-called illegal immigrants so he can keep track of them. He already said there's going to be a tracking system on land, sea, and in air. And he wants to do it to the so-called illegal immigrants. And also, I want to bring up another point. If a big attack, a terrorist attack was to happen on U.S. soil, they can implement it just to, say they want to know who's on their side, and this is how they keep track of everybody who's, in America, so they can make sure that you're not a terrorist or something like that, A way to protect your digital self in an AI-driven world. What to watch for if you're concerned. Well, that's pretty much, everything. But that was interesting, something told me, which was the spirit. Said, ask Chat GPT if there's a mark of the beast being a microchip, how would it be implemented?
Yeah, see? And that's what they show on these movies, these TV shows, all that, all right? Well, yeah, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, all right, the other apostle on great millstone on down, it's been right this whole time. Somebody got to be the prophet. Somebody got to be the man of the Lord. All right? All right, and these prophecies continue to unfold, and just make us what we've been saying truer and truer. All right? And the prophecy that much more realer. All right, so here, that was a good video from the brother. We didn't say his name. All right. But for today, for the it's birthday of June. All right. All right. So yeah. I could pretty much end it with that. I'm just ending it with that. That was some of those videos that we went through. All the videos that we went through was on point. All right. So yeah, this is the month of June. All right. It was the spirit of prophecy. All right. So let me get that scripture. All right. A lot of these the other guys are not coming in the spirit of Yahushua. All right. That's how you know. Okay. In Revelation 19 and 10. I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua. Worship Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. Alright, and he do not prophesying. Some do not prophesying at all. And some of these dudes are false prophet and not speaking into the correct prophecy of these scriptures. Are not coming and don't have the testimony of Yahushua. All right, because all that prophecy is part of the testifying of Yahushua. All right, all that is what they have Yahushua come back. All right, so that's part of the testimony of Yahushua. All right, testifying of the thing that's going to take place, the thing that's going to happen. All right, which are the prophecies. Okay. Yeah, so with that, I'm going to end it with that. Like I said, it's June. All right, the MOTB is here.